Sudeley Castle, bound in the rolling hills of the Cotswold, in warm honey-colored stone surrounded by gardens. With over 1,000 years of history, it remains a family home. Katherine Parr is the star figure here, the last wife of Henry VIII. After his death, she married Thomas Seymour and moved into Sudeley Castle, her final home and resting place. Serene now, stroll through the grounds to find yew figures reading books and ivy-covered ruins, and the striking form of St. Mary's Chapel. The castle has been at the heart of English history for over 1,000 years. Though a Saxon manor existed here long before the Normans arrived, Sudeley rose to prominence in the late medieval and Tudor periods. The Ralph Boteler garden recalls the present castle's original builder. The White Garden features a secluded arbor. The Mulberry Garden blooms with seasonal color. The Queen's Walk honors 4 queens who once walked these paths. And towering above, a mighty cedar of Lebanon. Manicured lawns with views of distant hills. The key feature is St. Mary's Chapel. The Gothic doorway opens to rich wood, stained glass, and worn stone. The baptismal font marks the chapel's connection to the nearby Winchcombe Abbey before its dissolution. This beautiful chapel is the final resting place of Katherine Parr, who gave birth to a daughter and died shortly thereafter in 1548, making her the only English queen buried on private property. The chapel fell into ruin after the English Civil War. In 1782, curious sightseers unearthed a coffin beneath the floor. A plaque on it read, "Here lieth Queen Katherine, wife of Henry VIII." Her body, remarkably preserved, was reinterred here in the restored chapel. Nearby, a stained-glass window honors Thomas à Becket. A medieval cresset stone which held burning oil. Guarded by this silent fellow, inside the walls lies a lived-in home. Art and heirlooms trace centuries of ownership and renovation. A portrait of young Catherine gazes across time. Here a romantic painting of the castle as it was, and a model. The Baron's coronet. Sudeley has seen 11 barons over the millennium. Here is Baron Ashcombe, who established the current line. The modern family restored the castle's charm and ensures its legacy. Here is a list of royals associated with Sudeley Castle, from King Ethelred to King George III. Eleanor Talbot Boteler was the secret queen of Henry VI. Long before Katherine Parr, Sudeley Castle was entangled in the Wars of the Roses. It was owned by Richard, Duke of Gloucester, later Richard III, who used it as one of his key residences in the West. And the major exhibition at Sudeley examines his life and legacy. Here is a portrait bust commissioned by Lady Ashcombe based on the skull recently found buried under a Leicester car park. The exhibit reflects on his reign and the mystery of the princes in the tower. Was he a monster, or was his guilt Shakespearean fake news? The dramatic rediscovery of his remains, proved by DNA, allowed the reconstruction of his bones and showing a death wound. All 6 wives of Henry VIII stand here in stately order. Here is Catherine, almost lifelike, with Henry, dissolute, looking on. A collection of cameos represents Henry and his collection of wives. An exhibit also here evokes the tragic, brief reign of Lady Jane Grey, the 9-day queen, a story of the bitter rivalry between her uncles Thomas and Edward Seymour. Here she is awaiting execution. Even Queen Elizabeth I is represented. Oliver Cromwell's brooding bust casts a dark shadow from a stairwell window. An 18th century tenant farmer, prodded by visiting tourists, found the queen under a crumbled wall. Her skin was still soft. Personal items bring the family story to life. A canopied bed, a collection of lace. letters, and other private documents. And even ghosts are said to roam the back stairs of Sudeley. And there's a cozy snack spot under oak beams. A walk through the grounds leads to the ruins of Winchcombe Abbey, destroyed under Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries, but its Gothic arches remain. Its haunting stone clung with vine, shone in the reflecting pool. And keep your eye out for the boar of Richard III, reminding us kings and commoners still meet in the quiet of the Cotswolds.